It's on the website. Just go to
Just to take up 1 second.
So I read the book, The End of Mr. Y, if it moves, that'd be fantastic. Okay, it's by Scarlett Thomas, and a little bit of background on the book. It's about this girl named Ariel Manto, and she is basically like the most boring person that you could ever imagine. Like, if you think your life's boring, her life is boring. Like, they don't do anything ever. She's a PhD student, and she kind of like explains how when she's not at school, she's at home, and like everything in between is just like pointless. Like, she doesn't do anything, she doesn't read, she doesn't hang out with friends, she doesn't even like do homework, she just like chills, so her life is so boring. So she starts researching this guy named Thomas Lomas, who actually writes the book The End of Mr. Y, and the book is infamous for being able to take you to a troposphere. Basically what the troposphere is like an alternate parallel universe. So if you've ever seen Stranger Things, it's like the upside down.
Oh.
And the only way you can really get to this world is by using the book. Everyone has to find out how to get to the troposphere in their own way. So some people like read lines, some people flip to a certain page. Everyone does it in a different way. And in the troposphere, you control the world basically around you. So you can read people's thoughts, you can control other people's actions, and you basically have full control over everyone. Every single time you go back to the troposphere, you can like get stronger if you want to. So the first time she goes, she kind of doesn't know that she has this ability. The second time she goes, she kind of realizes she has more of the ability. And it's basically about her life in the regular world and her life in the troposphere. And she decides to make a decision about which one is better. The book circles around our wants versus our needs overall. So a good example of a quote with this would be, I don't know if you guys have ever read Go Ask Alice. She says the quote, "Life without drugs is no life at all. Once you've had the drug, there's no going back." Everyone has a certain type of drug and addiction, something that we need to get going. Mine is food. Food is like a necessary thing to live, but food is good. I eat food when I'm not even hungry, which is probably a bad thing. It's your wants and your needs. She starts to see the troposphere first as a want. Like,
Did you just use food as a verb?
Did I?
I food when I'm hungry.
I food all the time. She starts to see the troposphere.
I love it.
Thanks, Meredith. I appreciate it. As a need more than a want. The first time she goes, she's kind of just like, okay, well, I got the hang of this. Like, let me keep going back. The second time she goes, she's like, I need to go back. Like, there is no life without being here. And this represents kind of the control that we as humans need. Often we think we need things when we really don't. We don't realize this, but everything in our lives are luxuries. Even the simplest things. Clothes are luxuries, shelter is a luxury, having air is a luxury, being at school is a luxury. We don't really realize that. And she begins to see the troposphere no longer as a luxury, but as a necessity. There are very few things that we need to stay alive. And if Ariel really doesn't need to go, then the question that kind of revolves around the book is, why does she go? She goes to find adventure outside of her boring life because there really is nothing to do. And we want to try new things. So she wants to have this exciting part of her life that no one else has control over. She wants to have control, and she believes that this is going to give her happiness. And once she thinks that that happens, that's really when it becomes a need to her. That's really when she's like, if I don't have this, I'm going to die of boredom and unhappiness. Overall, this story kind of symbolizes we as humans want control to satisfy us more than anyone else. We want control to be able to do certain things. I put in a little video. I hope it works.
Use the mouse.
Yeah, use the mouse.
On the computer.
Lose your care!
Do control, hit control, and then hold control, and then
Or just copy.
Put
Isn't
the
it
mouse.
blocked on the Wi-Fi anyway?
do Alt and then click.
Okay, whatever. I'll just explain the video. It's basically a video of Ellen DeGeneres and Cardi B playing the 5-second rule, and they're like, Ellen, name 3 things that you want but you don't have. And she's so rich, Ellen DeGeneres just sits there and goes, because she has everything in the freaking world, so she doesn't need anything. She doesn't want anything. And it was just an example of wants and needs. You should go find that video for yourselves. So, ending it all, the little meme says when you're trying your best but nothing is going right, and it's a dog smiling. Because it's literally me right now. So, eventually the book comes to this one question. Ariel realizes, okay, if I don't have the troposphere, then there's no point to life because I'm going to die anyways. And I'm just going to die unhappy. So what's the point in waiting around for it to happen? Let me just die now. Like, let's just do it. Often, when we think we need things and we don't, and when we don't have those, we feel like we're missing something because we get so used to them. She gets so used to having this place, to having this control, because she likes being able to go there and control people's thoughts, knowing what people think about her. When she doesn't have it, it literally feels like she's going to die. So she begins to wonder, how do we make life worthwhile? Her end goal is to stop going to the troposphere. She wants to stop being able to have this place to go to. She just wants to focus on her real life. And she begins to wonder, is anything real? And we've gone through like this question like so many times. So she wonders, well, the troposphere isn't really real. No one thinks it's real. So she is like, well, is it really real? Like, is it just in my head? Is like this world even real? Am I real? Like, what if none of this is real? And she begins to question, if none of this is real, then why are we here? What's the purpose? This is all like a game. That's essentially what she thinks. And it's about her beginning to find a balance between everything. She starts wondering if there is a balance between, if there can be a balance between the troposphere and her real life. If there is a balance, how does she find it? How does she find being able to satisfy her wants and her needs, being able to satisfy both sides? Ariel touches that, once again, once she's been there, there's no life going back. So now that she doesn't want to go there anymore, she's wondering, well, if I can't have this, how else am I going to be happy? And she starts to find other ways to be happy. The essential thing she realizes that she wants is control. She wants to have control over her life. She wants to have control over, she's a PhD student, so she's getting her PhD. She wants to have control over when she's going to get her PhD, how she's going to get her PhD. She wants to just have control over all. And she notices kind of, if we had total control over anyone in this real world, would that satisfy her needs? So Thomas, the author, touches that if you had total control, would you take it? Is that playing with fire? Is that too dangerous? Is freedom slavery? But if you had total control, would that satisfy your needs? If you had total control over where you had a test today, an econ test today, would that make you happier? If you didn't have an econ test today and you were able to control whatever grade it was that you got on your econ test, would that make you happy? So then Ariel tries to find a reason to live. This dog is a dog who has been neutered, so he has a cone, and he got stuck in the cone, and it says he may have lost a couple things today, but his spirit wasn't one of them. Get it? Because he lost.
Yeah.
You know what he lost. Ariel begins to realize that there is more of a life without this book. She starts to realize, yo, I have one life, and I'm sitting here wondering about death that is going to come eventually at its own time. And I'm sitting here worried, wondering about death. Like, why am I doing this? So she tries to make life worthwhile, finding things in like nature, books, TV shows, cute guys, whatever you want. Everyone is different, and she realizes her happiness with the troposphere won't satisfy someone else's happiness just as much as, I don't know, we all do different things to make ourselves happy. And we all have to find a reason to live. Still, it's about maintaining that balance. Thomas really touches on maintaining a balance between everything in life. Everything in excess is bad. So going to the troposphere too often is bad. Not going to the troposphere at all is bad. But you have to find something in the middle to satisfy yourselves. Overall, Ariel believes we can be happy if we allow ourselves to be. If you sit here and you're negative, if you sit here and you just mope about everything in the world, you don't do anything to change it, you're never going to be happy. You have to try and be happy. You have to try and satisfy everything that you want to do in life. If I don't know, if traveling makes you happy, then you have to travel. Like, you have to find something that brings you your greatest joy and keep doing it. If life is about experiences, Life is overall about experiences, and that's what Ariel realizes the troposphere is. It's only an experience. It's not something she needs in her life. It's just an experience. It's just a story, and eventually it's just a memory. It's about making every moment count, and that's how we get through life, by just enjoying the little things. And it's about a balance.